Hi, this is Paul with Promisec, and in this short video, we'll be demonstrating and walking you through how to install the Promisec Endpoint Manager utilizing our all-in-one installer. The all-in-one installer contains the Promisec solution and Microsoft SQL Express for the backend. It will automatically configure the SQL Express that supports the Promisec Endpoint Manager and the reports and reporting services as well. We presume that you already have the installer downloaded and you have a license file. If you do not, please contact sales@promisec.com or support@promisec.com to get the download link and to get a license file given to you. Let's begin. We'll double click and launch the installer. Typical MSI installer. I'm installing this onto a server 2012, which is virtualized with VMware's Workstation 11. And one of the requirements is, and it's outlined in the AIO installation guide, the all-in-one installer installation guide, that you have 2 CPUs dedicated and 8 gigs of memory at a minimum. And as you can see on this version, I have that. I have 2 virtual processors and I have 8 gigs of memory. All right, let's click next. We'll accept the EULA to begin, and then we're going to do a typical installation. Here is where we need to add a domain account that has local admin privileges to install the software. So very quickly, I'm installing this in a work group, so I'm going to put the name of the server down to begin with. As you can see, I've entered in the credentials, and I'm going to click Next. It will go out and verify the credentials that they work. And we'll begin the installation process. And it'll be a few minutes while this installs. We'll let it install. I'll pause the video for right now, and then we'll begin again. As you can see, the installation will continue forward without any intervention as well. And you can see that the SQL Server 2008 R2 Express is installing itself. Okay, as we continue on, we now have come to, after adding the credentials to run the product and do the inspection of the endpoints in your enterprise, we have now come to entering a client name for the Sentry. The Sentry component is used and it's going to be loaded on the local server here, gathering information about the targeted endpoints. And I'm going to leave the default name. It's calling itself Sentry and the name of the server itself. And it will continue on using the same credentials. Everything will be default by instance here. And we'll do the confirmation and we'll click Next. And I'm going to pause the video and watch the installer go. Okay, and as we can see, we've got a completed install right now. So we're going to go ahead and click Finish. An icon has been added for the Promisec Endpoint Manager. So the first thing that we have to do is launch the Endpoint Manager and apply the license file. Again, if you don't have a license file, please contact support@promisec.com to get one. We're going to go ahead and enter in the credentials or an alternate set of credentials that can be used to log into the PEM product. And as we come in, as you can see on the splash screen, we're at 411, and we'll need to add a license file. So the first thing that we'll do in the configuration now after having it installed is add the license file. We'll click in the Smart Launch Circle pad and we'll click on Management. Promisec is a 3-tiered architect solution that has a manager, console, and SQL backend. And as it loads, it's configuring itself, communicating with the database, and we'll launch the manager in just 1 second. Okay, and as you can see, we've launched, the console has been loaded. We're going to then check to make sure that the license file and add the license file in. And as you can see, it's there. It's on my desktop. Going to open it, update it. We should get a confirmation message. And we did. Okay. So let's begin the. Okay. After adding the license file, it's always a good idea to relaunch the product. And I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Relaunch. Only needed when you're adding a license file during the initial installation, or if you had to add an additional one. And as you can see, everything has come to life, so we can start the configuration process here. Okay,